Welcome to ChessWire. I'm your host, Adam Carter, with your chess news. Today is Monday, September 19th, 2022. And your headlines today: Magnus Carlsen resigns against Hans Niemann in the Julius Baer Cup after 2 moves. Also, what Twitter's saying about it. And Hikaru Nakamura advances to the second round at the CGC, the Chess Global Championship, plus my bracket predictions. All this today on ChessWire. Let's go ahead and jump straight to a tweet from chess24.com. Another shocker as Magnus Carlsen simply resigns on move 2 against Hans Niemann.
This is his main move. D4, knight f6, c4. Yeah, definitely. And what? No.
What happened? What?
No. What happened? That's it?
We're going to try and get an update on this. Magnus Carlsen just resigned, got up and left, switched off his camera, and that's all we know right now.
Wow. Speechless, yeah?
Okay, so there we have it. We had d4, knight f6, c4 resigns by Carlsen. Now, the thing that we had talked about earlier was, why was Hans still allowed to play in the tournament? Now, there was, I spoke about the Play Magnus group being one of the co-sponsors of this event, and I looked up the reason why Hans was still invited to the event. It looks like Magnus couldn't do anything about it. So let's go ahead and get to this article from chess24.com about why Hans was invited to the event. That's plain and easy due to the tour regulations. In the regulations, it says that if you are amongst the top 8 players from the last tournament, you are automatically invited to the next tournament. In Miami, we had 8 players there, and Hans participated, so he was automatically sent to this event. That event was sent well before the tournament in St. Louis started, so it means we sent him that invite. After the commotion, which of course we have been following closely, we saw there has been no indication of Hans Niemann being involved in any sort of cheating in the Meltwater Champions Chess Tour. So there was no reason for us whatsoever, based on allegations back and forth, to revoke the invitation. They're saying that there was no indication of him cheating in any of these tournaments, and it looks like Magnus couldn't do anything about it, or there may have been legal ramifications. But on the other hand, there are other ramifications for this resignation, because that does give Hans Niemann 1 point, which against Magnus Carlsen, that could really put Hans in a position to take this tournament all the way home. So all he's really doing is helping him. So this is nothing but a snub. And also, I want to think about one thing here. We saw Magnus play the move knight f6. Now, he could have played any move. Why that move in particular? Was this a spur of the moment thing where he was thinking, okay, I see d4, I'm playing knight f6, I'm going to play like the kid or something against him, or the King's Indian defense, or some type of Benoni? But did we see that move for some particular reason? Like it was some type of like to f6, like an fu, I don't know. I'd like to see what you have to say in the comments, what you think about that move, because he could have moved anything. Let's go ahead and move on to another tweet from Chess24. This was while the game was going on, and we're hearing commentary from Alejandro, and we're going to get their reactions to this.
Talented kid in the rise couldn't produce. He got a good position against Magnus. It was a very, very good game. It was probably an inspired game, you could call it. But is it an obvious proof of cheating? Definitely not. I don't think he cheated in the Singfield Cup, but everything else is still
sorry,
up in the
Alejandro.
air.
Sorry, Alejandro. I just have to interrupt you because the game started and Magnus has logged off. What has happened?
Magnus has resigned.
Magnus has resigned the game against Hans Niemann.
Yes, at least that's what it says in our transmission.
He made 1 move and resigned.
Yes, it looks that way.
Alejandro's in shock right here. You just, like, so is David Howell. You can just tell, like, what just happened? Why did this happen? And we just heard Alejandro say that he thinks that Hans Niemann did not cheat at the Singfield Cup.
Wow. You look shocked David?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as we saw Magnus appear on the webcam, I thought, okay, we're in for a game. At least this will help things blow over. Let's focus on the chess again. But what do we say now? This is a bigger statement than the tweet, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely a bigger statement than the tweet. And I think this just goes back to one of my earlier videos where I said Magnus Carlsen throws fit in the middle of St. Louis. Well, this tantrum of his is apparently not over. We still haven't heard anything or him make an official statement. And all this does for chess really is just kind of bring this game into a more of a Jerry Springer realm where we don't want it. This is just an unprecedented behavior from the world champion of chess. We'll go ahead and move on to another tweet here. This was a great meme I loved. Magnus Carlsen resigns on move 2 against Hans Niemann. Chess world burning down. And Magnus, yeah. Before we talked about how I thought, well, maybe this was something to promote this particular event because we knew that the chess.com CGC event was happening simultaneously and that this may have been a way to get viewers over here. But we saw Magnus resign right out the gate. So I don't see how that could have helped that case for the promotion. We get another tweet that I found that I liked for those who missed the Magnus Carlsen Hans Niemann game today, a recap. And there you go. And we see the kitty knock over the pieces. And then, I mean, Magnus may as well have done the same thing, just like, I do what I want. I'm Magnus Carlsen. And then we get this tweet here from Maurice Ashley. Magnus just played one move and resigned against Hans Niemann in the online Julius Baer Generation Cup. This is shocking and disturbing. No one can be happy that this is happening in the chess world. Unbelievable. Definitely is unbelievable. And if we get into the betting odds here, I looked over at Forbes, and they were looking at the betting odds for this rematch because we were all really looking forward to this round 2, and they were saying that the odds of Hans Niemann winning it was a 320 money line betting underdog for the contest. So if you bet $100 on Niemann, you would get a return of $320 in winnings. And the same for Magnus. If you bet $100, you only get $80 in winnings. So anybody who put some money down in some online betting site came out really, really well with Niemann with the win, because that's the win. And maybe, here we go. I'm going to go a little Alex Jones on y'all. But maybe that was the case. Maybe, Magnus was like, hey, let's put $100,000 for Hans to win, and just lost the game and just came out like on top here, huge. So you never know. That could have been the deal. Like, I'm gonna resign and I'm gonna bring home some cash. That's a little bit conspiracy theory, but actually, you know what? I'm going to go with that one. Since we haven't heard from Carlsen, maybe that was the deal. He just bet against himself, and he just brought home a lot of money. I think that would definitely be a conflict of interest and definitely illegal, but he could have had anybody make that bet for him. So, that could be another reason for this resignation right there. Who knows? Then we go over here and we'll go ahead and move on to the chess.com bracket predictions. We all knew Hikaru Nakamura was going to advance. Got that right. Got the David Navarro right. Got the Perez correct. Eric Hansen correct. They both moved on. Duda moved on. Wang Hao moved on. I was correct about that. Shakiv Mamajaharov, he moved on. I got the Vedette prediction incorrect, so we're going to see a Serrano there. Wesley So, Ivan Chet got that right. Bach versus Jean got that right. Fabi, Jose Martinez, right on the money. Anderkin, Kamsky on the money. Nepo and Swidler on the money. Over here we talked about, I got Hifan wrong. Down here I got Toplev wrong. This was the only game that I got, the matchup I got completely wrong was Viswanathan Anand against Gelfand. A lot more correct predictions than wrong. I think these were a lot of easy predicts to make because we're just seeing some chess superstars up against a lot of people who are less well known. We'll see how these round 2 games shape up. We're going to keep you up to date with that. And there you have it. We see a resignation from Magnus Carlsen on move 2 against Hans Niemann at the Julius Baer. My conspiracy theory right now is that we saw that the Forbes odds were really in Magnus's favor, and I think he just resigned and and won a bunch of cash, because he could have easily put down $100,000 on Niemann to win and just brought in, you know, over that'd be $320,000 in earnings right there from just that simple investment. So maybe it was a snub, and he wanted to earn some extra money. Who knows? But that's what I'm going with. Is I know that's a little Alex Jones conspiracy theorist, but I think it could have happened. And again, as we said, that's definitely conflict of interest. It would be like insider trading, but it could have happened. And we see Hikaru advance. My brackets are looking pretty good so far. I think Twitter right now, the underlying perception is that Magnus Carlsen is just throwing a temper tantrum. I think it's that, but I think it could also be that he put some heavy duty money on Hans to win and just resigned the game. Boom. There may be more allegations or more crazy theories, and we're going to keep an eye on that for all of you. Thank you for watching and listening to ChessWire. Have a good one.